Hey everyone, this is Lenny, and here are my immediate thoughts on AEW's Fight for the Fallen as we are on the march towards AEW Revolution. So we have a new opening video package to the tune of the Pointer Sisters. I'm so excited, and between this and Saturday night's main event's opening package, the 1980s nostalgia in wrestling is strong. We open with dueling promos between AEW World Champ Jon Moxley with his Death Riders and rated FTR. Adam Copeland is now going by Cope, which I guess we have to cope with, and holy shit is Jon Moxley jacked. Remember when he was in WWE and people were complaining about his physique then? Ha! The first AEW match of the HBO Max era was a pretty boss match between Orange Cassidy and Hangman Adam Page, coming off their triple threat against Moxley at World's End that saw the match begin with both dudes missing their finishers. But this hard-hitting match between the Orange one, who is not a president, and Cowboy Shit ended when Page basically shrugged off a trio of orange punches to hit a buckshot lariat for the pin. Post-match, Page would attack OC after the bell because he's a bastard, and would even attack Christopher Daniels, who is no longer an EVP, proving those three letters were nothing more than plot armor. This was a super hit of a match, crazed no-selling finale aside, but it is AEW and they have made no-selling a bit of an art form. It is nice to get a more serious Adam Page, and serious Cowboy Shit is something I'm all for. Jay White gave us a promo declaring he is ready to take out Wheeler Yuta and Swerve Strickland and win the #1 spot for next week's Casino Gauntlet, while the Acclaimed would argue live on camera. And even Max Caster is like, dude, you waited a whole week for this? Just call a brother if you got something to say. This brought us into the match between the Acclaimed versus the Hurt Syndicate. No raps, no scissoring. This match was all about two stories, the Acclaimed basically falling apart before our eyes, and the Hurt Syndicate continuing to destroy bitches. The match would end when Bowens would walk away from his partner, opening Caster to murder death kill by Lashley. And this match gets a good old-fashioned hit from me as it was simple and to the point and showed the Hurt Syndicate looking dominant. Before we got our next match, we got a promo where Swerve Strickland claimed he plans to get to the main event scene by winning the Casino Gauntlet, and I hope that is the case because Swerve is my boy. Next on the docket was Jamie Hayter versus the returning Julia Hart, and the two had a basic match that ended when Hart would grab an arrow, which was taken away, allowing Hart to miss Hayter for the pin. And this match, while a little bit on the disjointed side, was a low hit. It's great to see Julia Hart, former TBS champ, back on my TV screen, but it also hurts to see how far Jamie Hayter has fallen down the card. She was once one of the most over people on all of AEW. Do better, Tony. After some promo vids highlighting Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher and Kenny Omega returning at World's End to give Kazuchika Okada his defended Continental title, we get some promo time from current TBS champ Mercedes Moné to brag about her 2024 with a video package about how money she is and how she says she's coming for the Rev Pro Women's title against Mina Shirakawa at Wrestle Dynasty. Moné is one of the most polarizing figures in all of professional wrestling, and honestly, I am here to watch the world burn as she just looks to collect more title belts. I do have to say, it is nice to see the Undisputed Kingdom almost back to full strength, but it is weird seeing them without Teach a Man to Catch a Bobby Fish with them. But it did bring us to the triple threat between Roderick Strong, Swerve Strickland, and Jay White, which was a fast and hard-hitting match that had one of the night's wildest finishes as TP Ricochet interfered and stabbed Swerve with a pair of fucking scissors. I'm sure Anthony Bowens wasn't a fan of that. That was enough for Jay White to hit Strong with the Blade Runner for the 3 and the #1 spot in next week's Casino Gauntlet. This was a fun match, a super hit, with, again, a man stabbing another with a pair of scissors. Where is Arn Anderson when you need him? The Undisputed Kingdom pretty much solidified their babyface run by saving Swerve from any more damage. And oh, TP Ricochet is a glorious heel. Jeff Jarrett then came out next for a big announcement to tease retirement, and it's a good thing he wasn't wearing salmon or there would be hell to pay. But yes, Jarrett says he still has a lot left in the tank as he claims he has signed his final talent contract with AEW with sights on the AEW World title. Isn't WWE already doing this storyline with John Cena? Hey, It's AEW Women's Champ, the epic Mariah May, and she is awesome. I knew that. You know who else is awesome? Christian Cage, who traded a promo battle with Hook, who will face off against each other in a couple of weeks. Next, we had Powerhouse Hobbs murder, Death Kill, John Cruz, and Rob Kiltroy. I'm sorry, I just love that name. In honor of my favorite squash wrestler of all time, Psycho Sid, who made a career of destroying people in seconds, I am debuting the Psycho Sid Squash Meter. And this match got 7 out of 10 Sids from me. Next, we got a promo from the Learning Tree minus Chris Jericho, who traded barbs with rated FTR, and it seems like a 6-man match seems to be set for Collision. After that, MJF made the declaration that he wants his world title back in 2025. MJF versus Moxley could be a lot of fun, and I'm sure the promos themselves will be fire. Finally, we had the Death Riders versus Rated FTR, and I have to say, it will take some time to cope with that name. This was a fun match with Marina Shafir doing her dirty work and things eventually breaking down when Jay White of all people would appear to hit a Blade Runner on Wheeler Yuta, opening up to a Shatter Machine into a spear for the win, and this was a low blockbuster match with a lot of action and a surprising finish with Jay White interjecting himself. And I am loving that we are getting a real bullseye on Jon Moxley as AEW World Champ. So the first AEW of the HBO Max era is in the books, and I would rate this a super hit. There was some palpable energy in the air, like the performers felt they had to impress for this first show on HBO Max, and I feel that they delivered. Next week is the Casino Gauntlet match, and that will be a lot of fun. Holy shit, and WWE Raw is on Netflix next. We are indeed in a new age. But those are my immediate thoughts on AEW Dynamite's Fight for the Fallen. What did you guys think of the episode? Share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.